GIA. Merry Christmas. A little bit early. Today is Thursday, December the 19th, 2024. And I love that, I have to be honest with you, almost every single time you send me a message, I'm holding my phone. And as soon as I see your words come across the top, GIA, I don't need to open your message because Courtney begins to immediately come through. Your daughter, my guru, one of my gurus in heaven, a special, special angel who I've been most blessed and truly grateful to continue connecting with your daughter for many years now. Years. Courtney. I do have more angel friends, than life friends, and yet that is something that is, unique to such persons as myself who do connect to angels, to heaven. GIA, for me, it's not all about angels. I connect to any soul, life, and even this morning I heard on the news they're talking about, which they've talked about for a long time, trees, Mother Nature itself. They continue to do scientific studies showing that trees have emotion, have feelings. This is important as part of the message today from your beautiful daughter, angel daughter, Courtney. She's very excited, first of all, for Christmas. She knows it's different for you. She knows there's no children to wrap presents for under the tree, and yet she knows that this is going to be a beautiful time for you from today through and into the new year. It may not seem like it, she says, as I do know that the trial begins in January, and yet what you need to remember, as what Courtney continues to say through all of these communications and connections that I have with Courtney, you need to focus on yourself and allow yourself to feel such peace. GIA, I'm always going to be looking around. Right before I started this video, all my roosters started to cock-a-doodle-doo. And usually when they do that, it's because they see something, okay? So I have multiple flocks, and so like one's here, one's there, and one's there. And the sheep, I don't know where they've gone. I've got my baby chicks out here in the second coop. I got a lot of activity going on here. GIA, we just had, if you remember my special silky hen, I connected to Courtney on that day that she died, Anne with an E. That was on November the 26th. I did put her final eggs into the incubator, and last night about 4 p.m., her final egg hatched. And we have the sweetest ever. It's like this, it's like the size of my thumb, maybe 1.5 of my thumbs. A newborn baby silky hen, a little tiny little black thing. We know that our black rooster is the daddy. Thank God. That's my chicken chips boyfriend also. Enough of me. And yet this is interesting because whenever I do these messages, you already know this, GIA, I kind of begin to talk, and Courtney will always kind of present, waver around. And I usually just kind of follow her lead in aware and yet unknowing ways, if this makes sense. So I don't know why she's kind of delaying this message this morning, other than the fact that I know that Courtney is also very particular in making sure that I am relaxed and fully open. Because you see, it's not just about when I connect with a soul and then go to do these videos later. It's that when I connect and then when I do the videos, both times, such souls in spirit do assist me, present with me, are with me. There is a lot going on here on the farm, and I know there's a lot going on in your life too. This is supposed to be a most joyous time for you. Let me explain really quick before I get into the message. I love explaining how it all happens with me. I try to describe it in the best ways that I can, and yet you have to keep in mind, I'm not hearing words I never hear words in my ears from heaven or from angels. It is all directly to my soul, which over the course of my life, I have been learning, well, the first half in totally unknowing, unaware ways. And, leading up to all of these past, 20 years, continuing to learn, well, the ways that angels and heaven utilize our life, our soul in this life, to receive as well as deliver such messages to life. It is true that we are all born with the ability to receive such connections, to make such connections with another entity, another realm, another universe that is not here and present in life, such as a human being or an animal next to us. I feel like I'm really out there right now. I mean, that wouldn't be, too far-fetched with me, and yet it is. Every angel that I connect with has something from their life when they were here in this life that correlates in comparison in a likable way with my life. Something about me. And so what I've recently learned, Gia, is that anytime I am receiving a message from an angel, such as I did and do with Courtney today, and deliver to you, Courtney's message is number one for you. And recently I just kind of learned and divinely validated that each angel's message through me is not only for you or whoever I'm delivering the message to, these messages are also for me. As well as very important underlying, usually one part of every message becomes a message that needs to be shared with life somehow, some way. And not just by me, by you as well. I don't know if you've started a journal yet. These are things Courtney will continue to present to you until you do. Today she brings us up again in a big way. Gia, it is important for your documentation or preserving of such moments with your daughter as an angel, because the reality is we will forget. It is up to us to keep life that once was here and now is in heaven alive here in life. Your daughter is always going to be alive whether you keep her alive in your life or not. And yet for your soul, mind, and body benefit, for your life benefit, there are many things you can do to keep your daughter's life alive beyond the spirit of her memory alive. Does this make sense? I'm going to back up a little bit here. I'm going to jump into the message now because Courtney's sitting next to me now. And I don't mean sitting next to me. I don't see her. She's not a human being yet. She's not here. She is here. You have to understand that angels from heaven are not in body form. It is energy. So when I say she's sitting next to me, that's because I feel from my soul her presence is right next to me. Then my soul also gives me the vision, Gia, of such an angel sitting. These are the ways my soul receives. I continue to explain to people, if you've ever seen the movie Flash Gordon from like the 70s, when they take the people in to erase their memories and they have them hooked up to all these things, computer, and they have a TV in front of them, and then they begin to erase their memory, and these people are sitting there and they can see their whole lives just being erased, and they're like, they can't do a thing about it. Well, angels are not erasing my memory, but it is very much so like that when angels do present to me, because it's like a, there's no speed. I keep saying that there's no speed. It's direct. These messages that I receive that turn into 30-minute long videos may take a couple of minutes for me to receive. After I receive from my soul, I've been learning throughout my life that it is then my mind and my body do come into play. Those are my three entities, yours as well, mind, body, and soul. My mind and body then come in to siphon, process, receive, decipher, and deliver. This has taken years of my life. And it is about practice. Practice does make perfect, I guess, and yet there is nothing perfect about spirit messages. Spirit messages are all soul, and they are beautiful. Going back to how each time I connect with an angel, it has something to do, correlate, tie into my life. I find that very fascinating. But this is how angels utilize us, all of us in life, including how your daughter as an angel utilizes you in your life. Okay? So yesterday I was on the phone with my mother. I have no idea why or how we even got on the topic of Ouija boards. Ouija boards? I don't even know how to spell it. I know that I had my little moments with Ouija boards when I was in about 6th or 7th grade. That's the only time in my life I had a negative entity definitely felt, and not just by me, but by my girlfriends as well at the time. I've never messed with the Ouija board since then. I don't know how my mother and I got on the topic of this, but we were talking about it. She said she used to play it when she was a young girl. My mom's now 81 years old. This morning, as I'm getting dressed, I like to listen to this podcast on Alexa called Coast to Coast. It's about paranormal stuff and all of that. And so I asked my Alexa to play that this morning. And the first podcast was on Ouija boards. They said, wow, it's one thing to be aware, okay? Because then you do start to see a lot more in life. It's another thing for a coincidence like that to happen. When coincidences like this happen to me, I consider them to be divine, okay? Meaning that Courtney, as of yesterday, knew that you were going to reach out to me today, and somehow Cora played all this, and or she's able to go back in my life and pick and choose what she wants to feed off of, basically, to deliver her message to you. Does this make sense? Take a second to think about it. So, the Ouija board. What this podcast was talking about was that well, think about life in general, how we all perceive things, and we learn to perceive, and that's how we live our lives, is by perception. Someone like me, I ultimately have been learning my whole life to live by soul, not perception. Yes, I do have good perception. Yes, I can see a sunny sky and say it is a sunny day, but I tend to stay away from perceiving, okay? This podcast was about the benefits of Ouija boards and that it is up to us to invite only positive entities in, okay? I've never, other than that Ouija board in my life, connected. Even after listening to this podcast, I still don't think I'll ever dabble with a Ouija board ever again. Never say never. The point of Courtney bringing this up today, I fully believe, is she knows that you have been on for the past several years your own individual journeys of seeking, searching, researching, yearning to connect, to understand, to feel your daughter in any which and all ways possible. Your daughter's like, yeah, Ma, that's right, Ma, keep going, Ma. She loves this. I don't think she's telling you to reach out to a Ouija board. I think she's letting you know by bringing up this Ouija board to keep going on whatever your little missions are, whatever your thoughts are. Follow those thoughts. Continue to allow yourself to do such research and seeking such information. This is what I do in my own life every single day. This also ties into the message, and this is going to be a long message because I can't even believe this. Anyway, so we are all born with the ability to connect to heaven, to angels, okay? But we don't all have the ability to connect to angels. Those who learn. And those who learn first have to open themselves to believing, to having some level of hope and excitement for wanting to connect to an entity that we can't validate here is real. You know, I remember the first message I ever shared, 20 years ago. I was so worried that the person was going to be like, you are a lunatic. I couldn't believe when they came back and said, how did you know all of this? You know, I was like, what? I don't know anything. keep your creativities rolling and flowing, Gia. You have a beautiful mind. Courtney loves your mind. She also knows that your mind has been so fractured and frazzled and fast that it does become jumbled up at times for you. And that jumbling of your being at times can create levels of anxiety that Courtney is wanting to help you alleviate and bring back down to a neutral level, okay? Very simply, we hear the words all the time, hope, faith, and belief. What exactly is hope? Hope is optimism, hoping for a positive outcome. What is faith? Faith is having trust or confidence. I have faith. I have trust and confidence in heaven. Belief is an acceptance that something is true or that it exists. I have absolute belief that angels are real and they do exist. I find it most beautiful that you do all of this, Gia. But more so, you did all of this while your daughter was alive in life, because it is who you are. And this is something for you to think of today. I don't know if you know your soul. The truth is, most of us don't know our soul, Gia. I didn't know my soul, remember, until I was 48 years old. I met my soul, knew I met my soul the day I met Jesus. I know Courtney has been leading you to Jesus for many years now in the most awesome and amazing ways, because you also know I'm not a religious preacher or speaker. I do not promote, anything. I'm literally a messenger when it comes to these messages from angels, and yet I do share all that I feel when connecting with such angels. Courtney has had you really big the past many weeks in wanting you to share more. She's like, Ma, you gotta share, you gotta share, you gotta share. And she doesn't mean share with life necessarily. She means share with yourself. She wants you to dedicate a part of your home, your house, to preserving and keeping specific items that we don't have room in anybody's home, even if you live in a mansion, to display everything from life, every trinket and treasure that we collect. She wants you to find a special place to keep her belongings that aren't displayed. But she wants them all together so that you know exactly where they are. Such things as photos, any of her handwritten special letters in life, even papers from school with A+s on, stories written, books that were her favorite books, cards that she gave to you, anything that reminds you. It is important, and I know you do this, to preserve your daughter's life in such ways. For you. You are who keeps your daughter alive beyond heaven. Because remember, regardless of whether you find ways each and every day, which I already know you do, to not remind yourself or remember your daughter, rather find ways to incorporate and include your daughter in your daily life, which again, I know you already do. You are keeping her alive in your life, okay? Because she is in heaven. And heaven is not just up here, but that is my habit as well. We all do heaven. Heaven's up there, Heaven is everywhere. Heaven is literally everywhere and within us, okay? It is up to you. Keep going, she says. Ma, keep going. Keep watching those movies that you used to watch with her. Keep listening to those songs that you know she loved. I know that they're all your favorite songs too. And remember that she does have your daughter's specific things she wants you to do all the time. She wants you to feel good. She wants you to feel happy. She wants you to feel pretty. She wants you to dance. She wants you to move. She wants you to smile and feel it every time you smile. Oh, how I love your daughter. Oh, That's Spunky. He's a dad. Did she have any Barbies? Did you save any of her Barbies? Because she did show me a vision of some Barbies, and she also showed me a couple of dolls, like baby dolls, and this could have been a charade's way of, you know, having you go back into her childhood, so to speak, when she was a little girl. And that's where she wants you to tap into right now, because, well, here's Christmas next week, right? And the truth is, all of us in life, when we think of Christmas, Gia, we do think about children. Christmas is for children, beyond it being for Jesus, of course. She wants you to tap in to that. Oh my gosh, what is this wind? This wind is crazy. Oh no. Hold on. Gia Courtney also said, and I think she said this last time, I'm not sure, but she definitely said it today. She wants you to find a little ornament, go get a little ornament. You can make your own ornament, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be anything in specific. She wants you to find a place and space on that God tree. She is going to bring up this God tree every single time, I believe, because that God tree is your focal point. Remember that. Your daughter brought you to where you are right now, to where you and Ed just moved to several months ago. So know that where you are is where you are absolutely meant to be right now. That should be a little bit of, I don't know, breath of fresh air for you right there, because it is time for you to begin settling in. She does say it's time for you to start settling in. It does take a long time. Look at me. I moved 3 times in 3 years. It's the most awful way to live in limbo. It's so hard to settle in, to create a new foundation, a new life with new routine and structure, schedule, you know, to decorate, to create your own space around you. She says she wants you to get some bird seed. And she says that you are going to get snow. I don't think on Christmas. I don't know when. I don't tell the future. Gia, you know that. This is coming from your daughter right now as I'm delivering this message. And I already spoke to Courtney earlier. So that's funny. She's chiming in right now about bird seed. She actually did bring up bird seed earlier, and I just kind of swiped it. And so now she goes, Ma, I want you to get some bird seed. And she goes, you know those birds right outside your window. She does show me that bedroom of yours again, and I've never seen your house. I have no idea where you live. But she shows me that window with the sheer curtains, long and kind of flowing in the wind, and she shows me little birds all out there. She wants you to make sure that you have bird seed on hand for when it does snow. I don't know when it's going to snow. She said something about the Festival of Lights. Okay, we're at Christmas time. We know that that's a common, a universal thing all around the world. Festival of Lights, they have it everywhere, different venues, different things. A lot of people like to drive through neighborhoods and look at all of the houses lit up for the holidays. She wants you to do this. And I don't know if this is something that you used to do in life with Courtney, but she's laughing because she says, Ma, don't be driving through those neighborhoods with all the bling to the bling and the swankety swank and the mansions and the big fat $1 million homes, Ma. Go through the normal neighborhoods. Look at the lights. Take Ed with you. Enjoy these moments. Lights. Well, what are we told when we die? Do you see the lights? That's what everybody wants to know. Here's Christmas. There's lights everywhere. Your daughter is leading you to the light here in life, which at this time of year is the lights of Christmas. You know that Courtney brought up about that East Star many, many, many months ago. You remember we discovered that that East Star is actually not a star, it's a planet, and it's Venus. And that East Star is what is known, I do believe, I could be wrong, I don't know, but it's from what I remember researching, that East Star, the least brightest star, or whatever, in the East, is what helped lead the shepherds to the manger where Jesus was born. She wants you to, okay, so she didn't say the word Google, but it is funny because angels do utilize technology in such ways in life and delivering messages. They're very aware of the internet and Google and all of that. And in fact, they love social media and all of that. Your daughter, Courtney, she wants you to Google Venus in spirit meaning. She wants you to feel what you read about Venus in spirit meaning, because it is a feminine spirit in meaning. Very maternal. We already know that Courtney as an angel has taken on the maternal role for you. Her mother. She does protect you, and not just from above, from all the way around. Remember that, because heaven is everywhere. She asked me again if you and Ed have taken those pictures, the fancy pictures of you, the pretty pictures, not fancy. Remember, she was like, not glamour shots. Do you remember that? She was like Olin Mill style, but you know, forget the whole studio thing. Do it on your camera, Ma. You and Ed, go stand by the God tree. Snap a couple of selfies of you, just, you know, get a couple of good pictures of you. She really wants that. She wants you to frame it and keep it in your kitchen. At one point, she had this was bizarre too. Okay, let me back up. You remember I gave for Ed, his friend who died 19 years ago, a message from his friend who's an angel in heaven. And you remember he opened up that message with the word blow, B-L-O-W, and then he went to B-L-O, and I was like, oh, you know. Well, interestingly enough, Courtney gave me a vision of her, which is, she's done this before, but she was sucking on the blow pops, you know, that has the bubble gum in the middle. And in particular, she was going, She was like having a conversation with you. She's going, like licking this lollipop, you know. And she had me see that the wrapper, she didn't take it all the way off. She was so anxious to get into this lollipop. She just tore it down and she just kind of smushed that wrapper down to here. And she's holding that lollipop, just eating it. She's going, But anyway, interesting, because this is a blow pop. So I don't know. I may have been a little bit wrong there with Ed's friend. Maybe I was thinking something. Maybe he liked blow pops also. That's just of a little note there for you. Courtney, you know, she said, Ma, you know how they tell us when we're young, don't grow up too fast? You know how they tell us when we have babies, they go, oh, you better enjoy this time because they grow up so fast. She says, you know how it is, Ma. We are always growing up. She says, but God wants us to remain young always. God never wants us in life or in heaven as angels to lose our innocence, our purity, which is only affected by, well, life itself. Beyond what our family affects us with in our growing up years, life itself through every venue of life. Work, neighbors, school, strangers in the grocery store. Every aspect of life affects us in such ways. She says, Ma, maybe that's why she also showed me the dolls and the Barbie. I might be going out on a limb here, and this might be partially my mind. I'm not sure, but I'm going with it because Courtney's going like this to me right now in a vision. Gia, is there something that you've wanted for Christmas, either this year alone or for many years, that you've never gotten for yourself? It could be something like a new purse, a new wallet. I'm not talking about a new doll. You are grown up. And yet there's something within you that I'm feeling right now from your daughter, her soul, that she says, whatever it is, get it. I don't know what it is, but get it. We do need to treat ourselves. Life often gets all, you know, crazy when it comes to money and all of that and savings and all of that, but we are meant to enjoy this time here. And Christmas is the best time of year to do that. You don't have children right now that are going to be there, I don't believe. I don't know. Maybe your grown-up children will be coming. I don't know. But you and Ed need to get a few fun little things. Let me tell you also, Courtney, she is all about the dollar store. She is all about the dollar store, and she has brought that up several times too, and she brought it up again today. The dollar store. This has nothing to do with the fact that, we don't want to spend money. Put that to the side. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with, it's the dollar store. And it has the most, I don't know, sometimes funnest, unique, silliest, cute little things that can really bring peace and joy to our souls. She showed me, what's that? Is it Home Alone? Because she shows me, the boy with his face. That's the movie Home Alone. I don't know if you watched this with her. She's saying, embrace these movies. I know you watched a lot of movies with her. I feel it. I know you did. Because she's showing them all to me right now. Holiday movies. Even Hallmark or Lifetime movies. So, Christmas movies. Get you that blankie out in the evenings when you get home from work and cozy up. These are feel-good movies and shows that Courtney wants you to fill yourself with. All right. So anyway, I've got to get. I'm flethered and flustered right now. A lot going on, like I said, and I just got a lot of messages on my phone as I'm doing this video, and so that does tend to take me away. And I never like to be distracted when giving these messages, because these messages are gifts, truly beautiful gifts to receive from heaven. And not only are they gifts as I deliver them to each person in life, they are a gift to me to receive. I'm most grateful for your daughter. Go to the dollar store and get some blow pops. Get a bag of blow pops for $1. I love it. I love it. And she says, right now, she says, don't forget the catnip, Ma. You got to get the kitty some catnip. Get a couple of those toys to throw on the floor for Kitty. Oh, Gia, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for sharing your life in such ways with me and inviting me to continue sharing your beautiful daughter, who's an angel in heaven. Her soul. She's very smart and she has beautiful messages. It's not just, hey, Ma, I'm doing okay. Hey, Ma, everything's fine. Courtney never talks about herself because she's not a self in body anymore or mind in heaven. Courtney is all, et al. Courtney is an angel, and angels are entities of energy, spirit, soul, free from, well, the very life that captures us here in such essence with our mind and body. She shows me a little elf now too. She's going all through it right now. And she says again, she goes, it's going to snow. She wants you to get that bird seed. That's really important to her. The most important part of Courtney's message today was absolutely about maintaining hope, faith, belief. She says, you're always on the right path, Mom. And you know, as I've told you before, anytime my sheep, particularly Cash right here, shows up while I'm doing a spirit message, literally, they do call lambs and sheep Jesus, okay? In the Bible everywhere. And I'm not a super religious person, and yet I have learned that whenever my sheep arrives while I'm giving a spirit message, that my sheep arrives with the actual soul of the angel that I am communicating with and delivering a message. So Courtney says, yeah, Ma, look, I'm in a sheep, Ma, I'm in a sheep. She's like, booyah, woo. I love it. I love Courtney. With that, I'm going to bid you adieu and say Merry Christmas to you.